Alright guys, we've been talking about this for a while and how it always ends up being true, but the pedocon theory, or pedocon law, as many have chosen to start calling it these days, has once again received another piece of evidence to back up the scientific hypothesis that it is. MAGA youth pastor charged with coercing minors to have sex with him. Yep. Not even the slightest bit surprising. This is the guy, by the way, if you're wondering what he looks like. Here's a photo of him with his guitar with a American flag strap for the guitar itself. Zachary Radcliffe, the music and youth pastor at Oakwood Church in Salanti, Yashtina County. It's Ypsilanti. Good luck spelling that first bit. And then the other bit is wash and then tana. So I'm guessing it's just Washtana. But yeah, probably somewhere very, very rural based off the name, to be honest. Is accused of a string of offenses relating to sexually abusive activity. Why am I not surprised? Because this shit's constantly happening. That's why. Hey, Balth, how you doing, man? How you doing? A MAGA youth pastor, favored by the evangelist Jerry Falwell Jr., has been charged with coercing minors to have sex with him. Well, it's not having sex, it's rape. And send him pornographic images. Zachary Radcliffe, 29, of Saline in Michigan, is accused of a string of offenses relating to sexually abusive activity going back as far as 2011. According to state police, the alleged victims were aged between 12 and 17 at the time, Michigan State Police said. Radcliffe was the music and youth pastor at Oakwood Church in Ypsilanti, Washtenaw County, and once performed a song he wrote titled "I'll Stand" at Liberty Universal in 2019 during the Conservative Political Action Conference. Falwell, who was president of the school at the time, praised Radcliffe's performance at the time, saying, "I believe this song will become to this generation what Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA was during the Reagan years," he said in a press release, which has since been deleted but is visible on a web archive platform. Oh, I love this. Whenever conservatives have had like a long association with a person and they get criticism for it and they defend that like association for years and years and years, and then that person gets outed for something that's indefensible and they have to drop any association and delete all of that defense. Happened with Shadman. Like, there are so many like old deleted tweets and stuff from YouTubers like Psychic Pebbles about like defending Shadman back in the day. So it's like, just you'll have to see it. It's not even exclusive to conservatives, but it especially happens with conservatives a lot these days, where they, strangely enough, just have to keep on sweeping under the rug a lot of their associations when left and right figures within their sphere get exposed for like horrific shit. The alleged victims were aged between 12 and 17 at the time, Michigan State Police said. Radcliffe was the music and... Wait, did I read? Yeah, I already read that bit. Radcliffe was charged over the weekend with 4 counts of child abuse and 1 count of criminal sexual conduct in the first degree. He was arraigned on several other charges, including criminal sexual conduct and charges related to child sexually abusive material, police said in a statement. Police said they were first made aware of Radcliffe's alleged crimes on October 2nd and that they had found multiple victims. And if you're curious about what this guy... Like, good God, have you ever seen a more quintessential Trump supporter, dude? Like, especially a Midwest Trump supporter. When I imagine a Midwest Trump supporter, this guy is checking off every single box. This guy is the Midwest Trump supporter archetype. He just is. The investigation started on October 2nd, 2024, when information was received that Mr. Radcliffe solicited child sexually abusive material from a minor, the statement said. Search warrants were executed at both Mr. Radcliffe's office and residence. The investigation has identified multiple victims. the Oakwood Church said in a public statement that it was not aware of the full extent of Radcliffe's alleged crimes, but has heard other stories. The pastor was terminated from his job, effective without pay on October 12th. So here's my question. How does a church hear stories about a pastor in their ranks who is a youth pastor whose job is to work with kids, sexually abusing kids, and just not act on it? How do you hear rumors about this when you are dealing with someone whose job is to take care of kids and not act on it? The fact is, they didn't care that much. They just didn't care that much. There is no other excuse. There is no other reality. That is the simple fact of it. It's not just that this random Trump-supporting youth pastor ended up being a pedophile. That shouldn't surprise anyone. What should really stand out as one of the most egregious aspects of this entire story is the fact that the church was clearly aware of what was happening. They had clearly heard rumors, had complaints, there was some kind of scandal behind the scenes before it went out to the police and the law got involved. And this is not uncommon. It's really not. Within these insular, small town, Midwest communities, these hyper-Christian communities in America, there are so many local scandals that are just like kept under the rug, you know? They're just kind of kept away from the cops, kept away from the law, and dealt with as like a church matter or a family matter when a crime has been committed. This is how so many priests were able to get away with this for so long. The Catholic Church would just, like cops who've committed police brutality and got too much attention in the press for it, they'll just transfer them to a new church in a new town, protecting them and hiding their identity. The church has done this for a long time. The Catholic Church, which is a massive institution, and so do the smaller, like, individual churches within small communities. This shit is a rampant fucking problem. And you know what? It does not surprise me that especially younger girls, Gen Z girls, are at an extremely rapid rate dropping off of spirituality. Not spirituality, I should say. They're dropping off of Christianity. Way less women going to church, way less women believing in God, a lot more women still believing in spirituality, but instead, what is quickly replacing it is, and this sounds like a meme, but astrology. Astrology isn't just like the meme, like, oh, girls love their star signs or whatever. It's actually replacing Christianity as the popular form of spirituality among younger women. And this is a statistical situation. Yeah, astrology is a pseudoscience. Don't get me wrong. It's still cringe, but hey, I'm glad that they are choosing to believe in something that isn't really harming anyone, you know? Yeah, it's like the Wiccan stuff, the pagan stuff. The reason why these ideas are getting so much more popular, particularly among young Gen Z women, is because of abandoning Christianity, but still a desire to have spirituality for one reason or another. But women are just not putting up with the state of the church, not after decades and decades and centuries of what has been enabled and protected within their walls. They're supposed to be houses of safety and worship, but for a lot of kids and women, they just aren't, and never have been. Quote, "The information that we received was shocking," the church said. "We were told that Zachary had been soliciting inappropriate photos and had possible videos from teens. We have also heard other stories. This information has ripped our hearts apart." Yeah, you've heard other stories, but didn't choose until now to act. The first time you hear a story like that, at the very least the second time, when it becomes a pattern, action needs to be taken immediately. Frankly, the first time whisperings of it were heard, action should have been taken. Some sort of investigation done. "The safety and protection of the individuals in our church is what is paramount to us," it added. "We are devoted to doing what we can for the care of the victims of these crimes." Oh, I'm sure, you heard about this and did nothing, but I'm sure you still care about the safety and care of the victims of these crimes. Sure. Radcliffe's current Instagram profile picture is of Donald Trump following the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th. Radcliffe also shared an image posing in a MAGA baseball cap and wearing a Trump t-shirt. Radcliffe is due to appear in court for a probable cause hearing on October 31st. So yeah, this dude is probably pretty fucked, but that's a good thing. And we're getting a lot more attention on the fact that a lot of these conservative, like, hyper-Christian people are themselves everything that they accuse trans people, gay people, and Democrats of being. And what I mentioned before, I feel actually has a pretty strong tie to this whole situation. Women leaving Christianity. If you don't believe this, it's actually the Christians that are panicking about this, like, massively. Here, there was a there's a lot of videos about this, like a shitload. Which one do we watch? I can't tell if this is like some Christian... Yeah, this is like a Christian news outlet. That's not the one... I mean, hell, you know what? Here's a Copium... Here is Copium from a conservative church news channel on YouTube. This is from a year ago, coping about the fact that women are so quickly and rapidly leaving Christianity. Watch this shit. Like, they are actually scared. Women are just dipping the fuck out. It's why I think there's such a high chance that Trump loses, in large part due to American women voting for Kamala Harris in unimaginable numbers and quantities. Like, I'm expecting a fucking wave, dude.
To return why women need the church and the church needs women, Erica Anderson says many women who leave the church still consider themselves Christian. She encourages those who have been hurt or disillusioned to reconsider what church has to offer.
The phrase that I like to use a lot is the church of your past doesn't have to be the church of your future.
Author and freelance journalist Erica Anderson has spent most of her life in church. While she admits it is far from perfect, she invites women to rediscover joy and purpose in attending.
Even the people trying to get women back in church and back into Christianity are like, well, yeah, I have to admit there are a lot of problems. Like, oh man. Christianity is so cooked. But what can I say? It's going to happen to every religion that bases their ideology around treating women like property. It's just, eventually the women are going to be like, wait, I live in the modern world. I can just leave and live as an independent individual and have rights. And then they do.
On CBN's Prayer Link, Anderson shared that passion as the motivation for her new book, Reason to Return: Why Women Need the Church and the Church Needs Women.
After seeing some...
And remember, women very much don't need the church, have realized this and are continuing to, and the woman drain from churches is only getting worse, I guess you could say. It's only getting more severe. And that line is very real. Why churches need women. There are a lot more churches day by day that are becoming complete sausage fests. Just pews and pews of nothing but dudes. It's not the best look.
Data about how many women were leaving church and showing that women were leaving church at a much faster rate than men in the past 10 years specifically, I knew there was a message that they needed to hear, because so many of those women, they're not turning away from God, but they do need an invitation back to faith community.
According to Pew Research,
remember, it's not enough to believe in God or be Christian. You have to give money to the church. That's what really matters to the like Christian industrial complex.
Church women have grown noticeably less religious over the last decade. The share of nuns among women has risen by 10% since 2009. And the share of women who identify as Christian has fallen from 80% to 69% over that same period. Issues like...
It's going down exponentially, by the way. This is a year old. This last year has been the biggest drop in Christian belief among women ever. Like, it's been the biggest drop in a single year. And, like, that's why it's become such a talking point in recent months, because the church is fucking scared. Women are done with Christianity at large.
like Church Too, involving sexual abuse scandals, have played somewhat of a role in the decline. A recent article in Relevant magazine points out that a growing number of single women are leaving over that issue. By far, the biggest factor propelling women out of the church is sex. The Church Too movement attested to just how damaging irresponsible handling of the church's messages of sexual purity can be for some women, the article said.
Which, of course, ties directly into the MAGA pastor who was sexually abusing children. The church takes advantage of the fact that they repress. They encourage sexual repression, lack of sex education, in order to make kids vulnerable to these types of abuses. In many cases, the kids might not even know what is happening to them. That's why there is so much overwhelming criminological and sociological data that shows the younger you give kids a sex education of some kind, the more likely it is that they report any form of sexual abuse they experience and there's actual justice done for it, because otherwise they don't know what's happened, and hell, they might be lied to and told that they'll get in trouble if they tell an adult what happened to them. So yeah, there is a reason why the church pushes this idea of like repression and purity, because it makes perfect abuse targets.
Anderson also discovered millions have left for a variety of reasons.
One of the number one reasons is overwhelm, stress, busyness, which you might, immediately conclude like, oh, maybe it's deconstruction or maybe it's people, deconverting. But the truth is that most women that are leaving the church, they are not deconverting. They are not deconstructing. They still value their relationship.
They are actually deconverting. The stats show that they're not becoming less spiritual, but they are not believing in God or the Christian God. The more popular belief, like progressively so, is actually astrology. It's not even a meme or a joke. It's literally astrology is replacing Christianity for like Gen Z women.
With God. Many of them are looking for a little bit of guidance, a friend to walk with them.
Guidance found in healthy faith communities that are beneficial for women and their families.
All kinds of benefits happen for you and your family, including better rates of mental health, better relationships, better even physical health. And then your children.
Better physical health because you go to church? Yes, because God heals you or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, like, this is what I mean when I say not even the Christians are denying the fact that women are draining from Christianity in the church. Like, it's actually like all hands on deck to try to secure a population of Christian women from just leaving and dipping out. The fact is, Christianity is becoming a boys' club in this country. We're getting to the point now where Christian dudes aren't going to be able to find dates or wives or families to start, because women are not going to be down to get with a Christian dude who's going to expect her to be property. They're not into it anymore. And this is what is terrifying so many of these older conservative men, is that women, especially younger women, are getting more and more independent. It's a terrifying thought for them. They hate the idea of independence. They want women to be reliant on getting married, getting an MRS degree, and becoming a housewife, because if they have any path to success or a happy life besides that, they might choose it instead of settling for their sorry ass, Anyway, that's pretty much the gist of the whole situation. Obviously, this MAGA youth pastor is a fucking monster, but I feel like the church and the entire discussion around it is more of a prevalent topic. But regardless, with all that said, if you found this segment enjoyable, entertaining, or even educational, then please consider leaving a like. It is totally free, and it only takes half a second, and every thumbs up in real time boosts my content in the algorithm, forcing YouTube to show it to more new viewers. So I really do appreciate it, every single one of you who goes out of your way to do that. It really does mean a lot. And of course, you can comment down below to tell me what you think of the video and to boost and compound the effect of the like. And on top of that, if you don't already know, you can follow my social medias linked down below to see stuff from me on other platforms, and subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications here on YouTube, so that YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video. Finally, almost finally, you should also join my fan Discord, also linked down below in the description. I host weekly game events, call-in streams, or watch parties there. Tomorrow night after stream, it's going to be a watch party of the next 3 episodes of Season 1 of The Walking Dead. I really hope to see you guys there. It's going to be great. And yeah, it's just a fun time. I also announce all my new upload streams and videos there, so you really won't miss anything if you join that. And finally, if you want to support me directly, help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub to me on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or even supporting me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, or even Patreon, or buying merch at the Streamlabs link down below. But regardless of how you support me, even if you're a lurker, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one. I hope to see you again.